Hello everyone, I'm Miyamoto here, and time for another another weekly update, such as this. Um, this I'm debating whether I want to make this as like a full update, like a release update. You'll see why in a moment. But let's go ahead and get into what's new. The big thing this time is you may see a couple of fire bros running around, spitting fire around. Um, in Mario 3, these are kind of really rare, sort of hidden enemies. I think you can only find them in like the second world guarding the whistle. And so I'm just lagging a little bit. I hope that doesn't show up too bad in the video. I'm having tech problems again, so I'm gonna try to power through this. Um, but yes, so I thought having them in the desert level would be kind of cool to have them. You can see that they run back and forth their platform, they jump up and down, they shoot fire, they stop when they shoot their fire, and when they jump. Pretty standard. I do have a variable in there to like offset them so that they can move at different rates, give it a little bit more interesting fire pattern. The Buzzy Beetles are there because I'm having trouble getting these guys to the Fire Bros to actually work in the game. And up until a few minutes before recording, I thought I had broken the Buzzy Beetles too, because they were starting to act up. I'll show you what I mean here in a second, because I gotta get to stage 2, but I just want to show off that they are technically working, other than what happens when I actually put them into the game proper. And they've got all the code for, like, hidden Mario and hurrying and all that stuff. Had to do a little bit of, like, updating on the back end for the, shots fired. More of just, like, a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of just making things a little bit easier when, like, for down the road. But let's go ahead. I'm going to jump over to Game Maker to change things out here. So switch my test room down. And now, of course, that's in a static room where they're just jumping up and down. And so what they should do in a level, they will be moving with the rest of the platforms and enemies and stuff. So we have to have that. I have this variable here that says like when they stop, they still they're supposed to still move in the direction that their rest of the things are going. So let's go ahead and bounce over to the other thing I updated is some updates to level 2. So I'm just gonna jump in there, show off some of those. So here we go. And I'm just gonna try invincibility. I'm just trying to get through this. I'm kind of frustrated. It's been messy, but move this back here. I had this little sandcastle area here with enemies that oops. Yeah, it's got kind of clean up a little bit. Little risk and reward where you can get a couple iron blocks in there if you can dig through, but obviously there's a lot of stuff in the way if you're not careful. That guy should be falling, and I think that's part of what's going on here. But then we have the screen here where you get the hammer bros, and they're jumping backwards, and they shouldn't be. And they should be moving back and forth in their platforms. And either I have grossly messed up the math, which is entirely possible. I mean, that's what happened with the Buzzy Beetles. But I think what is going on is something that's been kind of bugging me this whole time that I haven't been able to quite figure out. Oh yeah, and then here's the pyramid. I have the guys jumping here. Got some Buzzy Beetles in the pyramid. I am starting to like build out the pyramid a little bit, so that's starting to go. I'll go ahead and yeah, we got a few more corners, a little bit more built out. Not a whole lot of enemies in there. But something that has been bugging me. It was the best place to show this off. Yeah, I'll go. Oh, that was me testing stuff, and that should not be. Okay. Let's just. I'll clean that before I try to release this. I guess it's off the stage too. That was me like trying to see things popping in as they were spawning because I was having trouble with the Buzzy Beetles. They would not stick through the ceiling, and I forgot to change a variable with them. So I'm gonna have to try to show this off here. What I'm worried about. It's been a day. So yeah, you see how the Goombas like they seem to go faster to the right than the left, and that's because when they're moving towards the left, they're moving with the movement of all the blocks and stuff. Which, you know, in the case like the Koopas and stuff, that just looks like they're holding still, but it is supposed to be, sorry, that was my printer, but it should, but, you know, for something like the Goombas, they have to, like, move a little bit faster than the screen goes. Yeah, see how fast they zoom off to the side there. But when they bounce off a wall, they're still moving at, so like the Goombas normally move 2 pixels per step. There's 60 steps per second, 60 frames per second. It's just that. So they're moving 2 pixels per frame. And when they're going left, that just means that they're like moving a little bit faster on the ground. But when they turn to the right, they're still moving 2 pixels per frame, but the ground underneath them is also moving 1 pixel to the left per frame. So it gives them an overall effective speed of 3 pixels per frame to the right, if that all makes sense. And I think what is happening with the Fire Bros is, you see how they jump in the air? They should be, I mean, I'm still not sure why they're not just jumping straight up. I'm trying to get them to work. But I think part of it is, when they jump, they're also moving off to the other direction. They're getting stuck on the walls. You see how, like, they get stuck to the wall and they don't move anymore. So I'm still working into work. This is technically playable. I'm not super happy with it. There's a seam there. I don't know what that came from either. God's above. This has not been a great week for this one. It's just a lot of mess. Yeah, you see how he's like stuck in the wall there. Not supposed to be doing that. But it is what it is. Yeah, just can only get so much done, and this has kind of been driving me nuts all day, so, I guess I'll release it. Oh, and then, yeah, I do have the checkpoint for stage 2, such as it is, because, you know, we're at the point where I'm starting to put some stuff in here, got, you know, a power block there and whatnot, so there's that as well. That seems not there anymore. Wonder what that was about. Joy. Okay, sorry. So anyways, but yeah, that's that. So mostly the Fire Bros and the stage moving. Gonna try to work on it when I can, and hopefully have it fixed by next week. We'll see, because I cannot predict the future. I wish I could. But, you know, that's what little progress I was able to get done this week. I'll probably go ahead and post this as an update, even if it's just a minor one. There were a few other, like, behind-the-scenes things I fixed and cleaned up, like the bullets for the piranha plants shouldn't be moving anymore upon Mario's death. Some of that type of stuff I've been, like, trying to work on a little bit. I don't remember exactly what it was, because it was all, like, it was, like, just a couple of things, and they were kind of the minor things, so ideally, no one would ever notice that they were a problem in the first place. But yeah, I'll post this here in a bit, and we'll go from there, and hope I can get this worked out before next week. But yeah, I guess that's all for now. Not as much progress as I would like. It's kind of why I was trying to do the level updates with the feature updates, so I have like a little bit of both to show off. I find like trying to build the level design a little boring, but I think it's more because I'm trying to like be a little too professional with it, and I was looking at like the Mario 3 level designs, and there's a lot of just, they kind of just did stuff. And I'm sure there's like logic to it, but there's a lot of stuff that at first blush just kind of looks like they just did stuff, so I'm going to try to be a little less judgmental and a little less perfectionist about this, you know. But we'll see how that goes. I'm just rambling right now, I just, you know, blow off steam. So anyways, but as always, thank you for watching. I'll go and get the stuff posted here in a moment. Feedback is always welcome and appreciated. And I hope you all have a great week. Take care.